Kia ora, Matapelo here with your national weather forecast. Well, firstly, happy last day of meteorological autumn and of course, happy long weekend as well. Let's have a look at what we're expecting. Generally for this weekend, we've got some unsettled weather to start things off in the South Island today and Saturday. But as that moves northwards, it weakens away rapidly, meaning the second half of the long weekend will be a lot more settled for the bulk of the country. So starting with what we've seen today, in the South Island, a lot of high level cloud. So that gives us a hint that there's something on the way. However, for the North Island, things have been pretty sunny and settled for the most part. So let's have a closer look at what we are expecting. For the rest of today, we've got this approaching frontal system from the southwest, gradually moving up towards the South Island, meaning some showery conditions in the west. But out here in the east, it has been a warm morning and a warm day, and that is set to continue. And of course, those strong winds are starting to show themselves, strong northwesterly winds. For the North Island, it is all about this ridge of high pressure, keeping things fairly settled for the rest of today. That story continues in the overnight period. That frontal system rapidly moves towards us. It is a fast-moving system. We see that with the strong winds that it is carrying along with it. So those winds starting to pick up overnight, and of course, that rain starting to show itself in the west. But again, in the south, in the North Island, things remain fairly settled throughout the night. So having a look at those temperatures, we see fairly warm temperatures, especially for the North Island and even parts of the South Island. And that is due to the combination of cloud cover as well as those strong winds keeping things on the warm side. But for central parts of the North Island, still a bit of a chilly night. We see 2 degrees expected in Taupo. So this frontal system does bring with it some severe weather. We've got some strong winds expected for most of the South Island and parts of the North Island as well. So some strong wind warnings and watches in place, as well as a possibility of heavy rain in the ranges of Westland and parts of Fiordland as well. So more details on those are available on metservice.com. So having a look at Saturday, what we're expecting, that frontal system quickly moves up the South Island, some strong winds, heavy rain in the west, things remaining warm in the east until that front moves through. For the North Island, we see an increase in cloud, those showers as that front moves upwards as well, and those strong winds in the central areas. But let's take a closer look at what we're expecting. As the day goes on, we see this increase of cloud in the western parts. The east, maybe just some high cloud, things remaining relatively warm for this time of year. And of course, as that front starts to approach, it weakens rapidly, but still some showers expected and even rain in the ranges. It also brings with it strong winds for Wellington and Wairarapa. We saw that strong wind watch that is in place, gusts of possibly around 100 kilometers per hour. So definitely something to keep in mind for Saturday. Then heading to the South Island again, that front rapidly moves up, very wet in the west, especially in the ranges, even spilling over to the other side of the mountains. Out here in the east, not too much rain expected, but we could see something brief in the afternoon. Once that front, ahead of that front, those winds will be strong northwesterly. Once it moves through, those winds start to rapidly die away, except for down here in the far south, where those strong northwesterlies then change to strong southwesterlies, and we could see another strong wind watch issued. So do keep an eye on the forecast with regards to that. So having a look at temperatures, we see maybe some warm temperatures to start winter. It is the start of winter on Saturday, so maybe not quite a story that we're expecting. And that continues over here in the eastern parts, cracking 20 degrees for Napier and even Gisborne as well. Then heading to the South Island, it is a warm day as well. Those warm temperatures will mostly be before the front has moved through. Once that front moves through, you can expect quite a rapid decrease in those temperatures. And of course, those overnight temperatures much cooler than what we will have had this morning and tomorrow morning. So looking at the rest of the long weekend on Sunday, that front moves up rapidly. Still some showers expected for parts of the North Island, but once it moves away, things settle down quite nicely. For the South Island, we see that ridge of high pressure starting to build. So that means more settled weather conditions on Sunday. And of course, those winds also rapidly starting to die down. Then heading into Monday, we see just a weak system moving through. That's not really going to affect us. For the most part, the weather seems to have gotten the memo that Monday is a public holiday. So things do remain fairly settled under this ridge of high pressure and, of course, a return to more normal temperatures for this time of year. That's all I have for you for today. Ma tewa.